Let's start from London, where more than 100 buses were spotted carrying adverts saying "Free Balochistan." The adverts on long buses is part of a campaign organized by the World Baloch Organization. The Pakistan government has attempted to ban the adverts and has called it malicious and anti-Pakistan. London's official transport authority ordered the removal of the advertisement from London taxis, but there are still several billboards around the city. The World Balochistan Organization claim it is against Pakistan's war crimes and human rights abuses in Balochistan, and also they claim they want freedom for Pakistan's control. And for more on this story, we are joined right now on the broadcast by our bureau chief in London, Mandy Clark, who's going to help us to decode and understand a little bit better regarding these Free Balochistan billboards, which appeared on more than 100 buses in United Kingdom's capital city, London. The movement for Free Balochistan said this is to denounce the violation of human rights happening against Balochistan activists and nationals within Pakistani borders. What you can see are the typical buses running around the city of London, and it happened that on more than 100 of these buses there were billboards quoting and reading "Free Balochistan." This is an action made by Baloch activists who are trying to denounce a human rights violation perpetrated by the Pakistani establishment against them. And they also say they would like to be free from Pakistan's control. Obviously, Pakistan has immediately denounced this action as anti-Pakistan. Earlier, there were such adverts running all over taxis around the city of London, and they have been removed. But there are still several billboards around the city. The World Balochistan Organization claimed that this is an action against Pakistan's war crime and human rights abuses in Balochistan. And I'm joined on this story by our bureau chief in London, Mandy Clark. And Mandy, thank you very much for joining us on Dispatch tonight. So it seems that the Free Balochistan movement is more and more active in the city of London. Is it a sort of headquarters for them?
Certainly, it's a very active organization. It's a small organization, but they've purposely rolled out this campaign, an awareness campaign in phases, because they did expect a bit of resistance from Pakistan. Now, they did start off with the black cabs, which, as you pointed out, were pulled because it violated Transport for London's rules about having political messages. Now, they do expect that these buses campaign might be pulled, but they can't pull the billboard campaign because it is outside of Transport for London. So it'd be interesting to find out whether Pakistan does decide to pursue this bus campaign as they did the black cab campaign and demand that it get pulled. But certainly the World Baloch Organization said they're not going to be silenced. They will continue to peacefully and respectfully continue this campaign. And it's run by really well-known Baloch activists who have been campaigning for years on the issue.
And Mandy, do they enjoy some sort of protection or lobby within the UK government? I mean, is there any official support by parliamentarians or member of the government?
No, there's no official support for a Free Balochistan by the government at all. It is very much seen as a Pakistan issue that it must deal with it. Now, they do have support in the wider public. There are journalists that do support the World Baloch Organization and also members of the public. But as in a government response, there certainly isn't an official line that supports it. But this campaign certainly has sparked a lot of tensions between Britain and Pakistan over it. World Baloch Organization maintains they have the right to freedom of expression and protest, and they aren't planning to stop.
And this kind of leads me in my question, which is, are Western media, UK's media, reporting about these, or this is something going a little unnoticed, I would say, on the Western mainstream media environment?
Well, it is being picked up by well-known publications like The Independent has picked up on it, and The Guardian. So those are, UK newspapers that have picked up on it. But Balochistan doesn't necessarily have resonance, doesn't mean a lot to the average Londoner. So certainly it's an awareness campaign that's going to spark interest. At least that's what they're hoping. So people have simply more of an awareness of what Balochistan is and the issues surrounding the region.
Thank you, Mandy. I request you to stay with us. We're also joined on the phone line by Mr. Nuruddin Mengel, who's a human rights campaigner. Thank you very much for joining us from London. And one question I have for you, could you please highlight us a bit about the battle that the Free Balochistan movement is fighting right now in UK?
Can't hear you very well.
Okay, I'll repeat my question, no problem. Thank you very much, first of all, for joining us. And I would like to ask you if you can highlight, for the benefit of our viewers, if you can highlight the battle that the Free Balochistan movement is currently fighting.
Well, this has been a long struggle for rights and justice. The Baloch people have for 7 decades suffered oppression at the hands of the Pakistani government and successive military regimes that have come into power. And for the Baloch, the situation has remained continuous since the last 70 years. They've been marginalized and they've been downtrodden, and they continue to suffer every day. Enforced disappearances, human rights abuses such as extrajudicial killings take place every day. And this is something that the Pakistani government has successfully concealed. It's concealed the crimes against humanity that it has committed in Balochistan. And I feel now the time has come for the world to see what's happening in Balochistan. Obviously, Pakistan has not allowed the international press, international human rights organizations, journalists, they haven't given them access to Balochistan. So the only way to get the word out is by working at international forums and campaigns such as this to get the word across to people across the world who aren't aware of what's happening in Balochistan. This is a struggle of people who have been asking for their rights, and that has been denied.
Thank you very much. This was Mr. Nuruddin Mengel, human rights activist based out of London. And also thank you very much, Mandy Clark, our bureau chief in London, for joining us on the broadcast tonight. Now, moving on, the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi's third day in Manila began.